अगर कोई स्टार्टअप स्टार्ट कर रहा है तो मोस्टली आजकल लोग नहीं बहुत रिस्क होगा इसमें तो स्टेप आउट कर लेते हैं.
And I personally feel that until and unless you do job, it is very difficult for you to do, especially in B2B.
तो आपको भी कभी ऐसा फील हुआ होगा कि इसमें तो बहुत रिस्क है.
If you want to do something which is extraordinary, you'll have to take a step because in a comfort you can't achieve extraordinary.
स्टूडियो के प्रोफेशनली कोई भी नाम रख सकते हैं हम. Why this word crazy?
Crazy is very integral part of our entrepreneur or our ecosystem which we talk about.
आजकल Gen Z एम्प्लॉइज की बहुत ज़्यादा एक बूम चल रहा है कि उनका काम करने का तरीका अलग है.
If you are satisfied that, then it is not important for you to impose your beliefs on someone else.
दिल्ली एनसीआर में बहुत सारे स्टूडियोज हैं. क्रेजी स्टूडियो ऐसा क्या डिफरेंट कर रहा है जो ऑडियंस को सिर्फ यहीं पे अट्रैक्ट करता है?
Relationship. So वो आपको और कहीं नहीं मिलेगा. You come here and shoot and I'll give you the edit, but I give you that relationship that okay, I'm standing with you, don't worry, हो जाएगा. So that's where the crazy story starts.
हर सक्सेसफुल ब्रांड के पीछे सिर्फ बिजनेस नहीं होता, एक विजन होता है, एक स्टोरी होती है और एक इंसान की कहानी भी होती है जो उसे हिम्मत देती है. नमस्कार, स्वागत है आप सबका क्रेजी टॉक्स में, जहां हम सिर्फ कहानियों की बात नहीं करते, कहानियों के पीछे छिपे उस इंसान की भी बात करते हैं. इसी के साथ आज हमारे साथ मौजूद हैं मिस्टर निश्चय दवे, द फाउंडर ऑफ क्रेजी स्टूडियो एंड क्रेजी ब्रेन. तो लेट्स वेलकम मिस्टर निश्चय दवे सर. हेलो सर एंड वेलकम टू क्रेजी टॉक्स.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
सर हम स्टार्ट यहाँ से करेंगे कि आइडेंटिटी और ब्रांड की बात हम बाद में करेंगे. पहले हम आपको एज अ पर्सन जानना चाहते हैं कि आपको कब ऐसा लगा कि मुझे अपना कुछ खुद बिल्ड करना है.
मेहुल, ये जो होता है एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप इज़ अबाउट माइंडसेट. सो हर बंदा जो होता है उसके दिमाग में जब वो वर्क करता है तो कोई ना कोई मोमेंट ज़रूर आता है जब उसको लगता है कि आई शुड डू समथिंग ऑन माई ओन. सो ये थॉट सबके साथ में होती है. इट्स जस्ट दैट वेरी फ्यू टेक एक्शन ऑन दैट. सो मेरे दिमाग में भी ये थॉट बहुत टाइम से थी. आई बिफोर स्टार्टिंग क्रेजी स्टूडियो एंड एंटरप्रेन्योर जर्नी, जहाँ पे क्रेजी ब्रेन है 2018 से 10 years I was into the job. I had this thought multiple point of time, but over a period I realized when I was about to do a job switch, I said let's take a 1 year plunge. जो हम प्लान करते हैं एक बार एफर्ट डाल के देखते हैं, अगर हो गया तो ठीक है, नहीं तो जॉब तो लगी हुई है. सो दैट इज़ द रीज़न. एक्चुअल में यू नो देयर इज़ नो फैंसी स्टोरी बिहाइंड इट. सो वी फील दैट एवरीवन शुड बी, सो दैट्स वन ऑफ द क्राइटेरिया कि अगर क्रेजी ब्रेन हो या क्रेजी स्टूडियो हो, हमें क्रेजी टीम चाहिए. हमें सीधे सीधे लोग नहीं चाहिए. समवन हु इज विलिंग टू टेक द एक्स्ट्राऑर्डिनरी लीप. एंड यू रियलाइज बिकॉज आप बिजनेस जानते हैं, समवन जो थोड़ा सा पागल हो अपने सॉल्यूशन को डिलीवर करने करके, पैशनेट हो, करेज हो. So that's the word crazy means. So for us that is the reason. Let's suppose ये बंदा सैटरडे संडे काम करने को रेडी नहीं है क्योंकि आजकल के जेनजी का फिक्स टाइम होता है that I want to keep a balance between my personal life and professional life. You should appreciate that. हवा solution नहीं देती है, but they are able to add value to business. So that was my trigger moment that I felt there is a need and let's try something. If it works out great, नहीं करता है तो जॉब तो रखी हुई है. So that was the moment through which I started, and by God grace, जब मैंने जॉब से रिज़ाइन दिया था, there was a 3-month notice period. And in first month, the company where I've resigned, they started giving me project. So 2 months I'm getting my notice period salary also, and I'm getting new projects. So it's a individual where companies put up a bet, and I'm glad that it worked out for me. So that's the moment which was there for me.
जब आपको लगा. तो हम अगर थोड़ा सा पीछे चले जाएं, लाइक जैसे कोई हम स्टूडेंट लाइफ से स्टार्ट करते हैं, बिल्कुल बचपन में नहीं जाएंगे. स्टूडेंट जो होते हैं, जैसे अभी स्टार्टअप्स के बारे में सिखाया जा रहा है, एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप के बारे में सिखाया जा रहा है, तो आपने जब एकेडमिक्स में अपनी 10th 12th में आई गेस सोचा था ऐसा कि मैं खुद की एक स्टार्टअप स्टार्ट करूँगा, मैं खुद एक एंटरप्रेन्योर बनूंगा?
नहीं होता है, मतलब मैंने नहीं सोचा था कभी भी. और मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि दीज आर द मोमेंट्स ओवर द जर्नी आते हैं. कोई ग्रेजुएशन या मास्टर्स करते हुए अगर ये सोचता है कि मुझे ये जॉब, मुझे ये बिज़नेस करना है या वो करना है, दोज आर रेयर अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ विच इज़ कमिंग फ्रॉम. But largely people, and I personally feel that until unless you do job, it is very difficult for you to do, especially in B2B. अगर आप सर्विस इंडस्ट्री में हैं या कुछ भी हैं, जब तक आप अपने आप को उस शूज़ में नहीं डालते हैं, it is very difficult for you to run a successful business. So there are a lot of people, आजकल startup is a buzz. But when I studied, I always from जब मैं करता था मुझे तो ये लगता था कि बैंकिंग सेक्टर में एक जॉब मिल जाए, 30-40 हज़ार रुपये मिल जाए, अपनी ज़िंदगी सेट है.
आज के टाइम में भी आई गेस
So majority वो होता है. So it's never, I don't feel that someone born with a thought that I have to do an entrepreneurship. Those are very rare and extreme opportunities. But for large period, when you do job, when you figure out how industry is working, and you find out there is a space where you can serve it in a better manner, that's where entrepreneurship kicks off. Because if you don't know, you have not experienced, how can you identify the gap? And if there is no gap, then what you are solving is from your mindset कि मुझे ये लगता है मैं ये करूँगा, but actual में वो gap है या नहीं है. This is one of the reason why majority of the entrepreneurship and entrepreneurs are failing, because you go with the solution which you feel is right, but whether the person to whom you want to serve, whether he or she needs it or not, that only will come जब आप उस अपने आप को उस में डालेंगे, जब आपको पता ही नहीं है कि गैप क्या है, प्रॉब्लम क्या है, what you are delivering is superficial. So I personally feel that if I talk about myself, I never thought, I always switched job, I have to grow there, but there was a moment when you are deep and when you are working on certain, you realize that this is the gap which you are trying to solve for, और जो मार्केट में अभी दे रहे हैं वो एक ऑप्टिमल सॉल्यूशन नहीं है जो बिजनेस को चाहिए. If you have that thought and if you have courage to take action on that, that's where the entrepreneurship journey starts.
और मेरे ख्याल से एंटरप्रेन्योर के लिए रिस्क टेकर होना बहुत बड़ी बात है. लाइक उस सबसे इम्पॉर्टेंट चीज़ है कि उसको रिस्क लेने चाहिए. तो जैसे कोई भी इंसान अगर कोई स्टार्टअप स्टार्ट कर रहा है तो मोस्टली आजकल लोग को नहीं बहुत रिस्क होगा इसमें, तो स्टेप आउट कर लेते हैं, नहीं होगा. तो आपको भी कभी ऐसा फील हुआ होगा कि इसमें तो बहुत रिस्क है, मैं नहीं कर सकता?
जब मैंने एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप स्टार्ट किया था, सो in January 2018, I was blessed with my second kid. I was a home loan EMI was going on, and I decided that I will quit my job and I'll do. And my parents from Rajasthan came here to Noida to make me understand that no, this is not what you should do. You are doing a job. So safety net se bahar nikalna obviously is a tough decision. But yes, if you want to do something which is extraordinary, you'll have to take a step, because in a comfort you can't achieve extraordinary. So that's an entrepreneur's mindset. So risk taking is an outcome which we always aim for. But from where it comes, when you have the right mindset, where you have the mindset that okay, I want to create something meaningful, or I want to deliver something meaningful. To deliver something extraordinary, you will have to understand that I have to put something extraordinary. If you say I'll put ordinary effort and I want extraordinary output, then this is a wish list. It never happens. So for me, risk taking comes when you have the right mindset, right attitude, and then definitely there is an action to take on that. That's what defines an entrepreneur's kick-off journey.
बिल्कुल. और आपके हिसाब से मतलब एक एंटरप्रेन्योर में ऐसी क्या मतलब स्किल होनी चाहिए? मतलब बहुत सारी स्किल्स हम सुनते हैं, लाइक पढ़ते भी हैं, क्योंकि आप एक्सपीरियंस्ड हो, आपको ज़्यादा हमसे नॉलेज है, तो आपके हिसाब से क्या एक स्किल जो है वो इंसान के अंदर होनी चाहिए, ऐसा मोटिवेशन उसमें बना रहे ताकि?
In my limited understanding, and I feel there is no one skill and all, depends on what you are solving for. But nutshell में अगर आप किसी के भी bottom में जाओगे, a solution seeker is the first thing which an entrepreneur should have, because you will come across many situations which you have never dealt in your life. When you're in job, the difference between entrepreneur and a job person is what? A job person has a limited, हम जो बोलते हैं JD होता है, JD में मेरी job description fix है. I'm supposed to deliver on job description. Now my colleague has a different job description which his responsibility is to fill. In business, there is no job description. Okay, so that's the fundamental difference between a person who's doing the job and a person who's doing the entrepreneurship. So now what happened? Something which is not in your job description, if that comes across, you might not know the solution. That's very obvious and it's okay. But if you have the framework or if you have the right attitude in terms of how to find out a solution for this is the first thing which is required. The second thing is people, because you yourself, especially if you are in service industry, you yourself cannot deliver everything. You have to rely on the team to deliver it. Now, an entrepreneurs, what are the challenges which you have? Until unless you are funded, so I'm not talking about those where you are hiring or you're starting in a big bang manner or all. But for a typical startup, you will have limited resources, extraordinary to deliver. So now that situation, when it comes, you need to get extra work done from the team. So you should be a people person. If you have an attitude to find out a solution, and if you are a people person, I think half the battle is won there. So that's to me are the two key skill set which are there.
डिसीजन मेकिंग पावर की अगर मैं बात करूँ तो क्या मतलब किस लेवल का डिसीजन मेकिंग पावर होना चाहिए इंसान के अंदर?
The moment you have a clarity in your thoughts, decisions are what? You have a information, you process that information, and you take a bet on that I should take this. There is a probability that if I take this as decision, it will go right or wrong.
Yeah.
So if it is a straightforward equation, then it's actually not a decision. It is basically you say that what will come A after A, you figure out and you say B will come. So that's actually then there is no decision making. It's a conclusion or it's an information. When there is a decision making, which means that you are taking a probability or there is a chances where the absolute clarity is not there. So you have to take a bet that okay, I will go in this path, I will not go on that path. So what is needed is you should have a mindset where you can remove the clutter and you figure out okay, these are the four things which are important for me. This is the end goal. So higher probability for me to go on this. And more importantly, it is that you have to take decision. You in job you can always pass on the buck on someone, your manager, that these are the input. Now you tell me what needs to be done. Here you don't have someone who will tell you. You have to take the decision. So it is about taking responsibility. So for entrepreneurs, there is a one key things which come is the courage. Anything which you do, whether it is decision making, whether it is hiring, whether it is ultimately it boils down to courage. And that's for us, when we realize whether you take a first step or not, whether you take decision making, whether you take responsibility. So courage is the bottom line emotion. So you have to have courage in entrepreneur. So you figure out something and then you take, whether right or wrong, no one knows. But at least you are able to remove the clutter. And more you do the decision making, over a period, obviously, your power or this will come. But you can't be indecisive, because the moment you are indecisive, you can't run a business, because in job you can still work out. And then it is like you are not able to take a firm decision, and whichever way the flow will go, I will decide. So that's not something which works with them. So clarity of thoughts and a courage to take responsibility. If you have these two things, whether it is a too important decision or a day-to-day decisions, this becomes very easy for you. So
जैसे अभी आपने डिसीजन मेकिंग पावर की बात करी, तो इससे मतलब बहुत लोग ये भी लाइक आई एम नॉट श्योर बट मोस्टली ये चीज़ हो जाती है कि डोमिनेटिंग हो जाता है. क्या सच में वो डिसीजन मेकिंग जो पावर है, जो मतलब एक फाउंडर है या जो एक हेड ऑफ द इंस्टीट्यूट है, वो डोमिनेटिंग वे में उस चीज़ को लेने लग जाता है?
I personally don't feel that's more of an individual trait. And वो बंदा चाहे फिर बिजनेस में हो या अपनी पर्सनल लाइफ में हो, some people have this thing of pushing their thoughts or feedback onto others, and they want to get the work done in the way they think is the right. So that's an individual trait, and both are successful. Certain entrepreneurs who are more dominating and they have clarity of things, if the person individual capability is high, he will do very well. If you talk about me, having a clarity of thoughts and having dominance are two different things. So that's more of an individual trait. So I personally, if you ask me, I believe the more you take people along with you, the more you feel that okay, in your decision, your team is involved and they know why this decision is being taken, then the ownership is easier for team to take on. If I do think something and I pass on that you have to do this way, then I'm asking them to do task. I'm not passing on ownership. But if I take a collective decision, then actually it is a collective ownership which is happening. The moment there is a collective ownership, you will see the team go to any extent to deliver the work. So for me, that has worked a lot. And I always feel that entrepreneurship is not about an individual. It is about the team. So if you have to take team in everything what you are doing, you will see wonders happening there. So
मतलब आपके हिसाब से डोमिनेंट होना सही नहीं है. बिजनेस की बात कर रहे हैं, पर्सनल लाइफ.
yeah, dominant. If you are dominance is in moving to a stage
Yeah.
where you are creating a distance from the team, then definitely it is wrong.
It's wrong.
Because then you can hire and people will work for money, but they will never put their emotion into the business. And
और बिजनेस सिर्फ पैसे से नहीं चलता, इमोशंस भी चाहिए होते हैं.
obviously, मतलब you need अगर सब कुछ पैसे से ही चल रहा होता, so then तो फिर आप जितना पैसा लगाओगे, किसी ने 1 करोड़ डाला है तो वो ज़्यादा सक्सेसफुल है,
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल.
जिसने 1 लाख डाला है वो कम सक्सेसफुल है. बट बिजनेस डजंट वर्क दैट वे. बिजनेस इज अबाउट सॉल्यूशन, एंड फॉर टू डिलीवर द सॉल्यूशन देयर आर पीपल हु आर बिहाइंड इट.
जितना हमने सुना है कि आपने जब टीम स्टार्ट की थी, आपने जब अपना स्टार्टअप शुरू किया था, तो आई गेस 5 या 6 लोगों के साथ आपने स्टार्टअप.
No, we started with 2 people.
Oh,
so me
I'm
and one developer.
ओके.
Okay,
2
so
लोगों से आज मैं आपसे जानना चाहूँगी, आज आपकी टीम कितने लोगों की है?
So we are around 110 members today, and we started with 2 people in 2018. So I was very frugal. One of the key things about business is because you are dealing with finances, you're dealing with money. You always have to be cognizant of how much you spend and how much you earn. So I personally feel Marwadis are the best way to do a business, because burning money is not everyone's cup of tea. So unless you have a different valuation game में अगर आप जा रहे हैं जहाँ पे आप burn करके valuation बढ़ा रहे हैं, I'm not talking about those businesses. I'm talking about a typical entrepreneur who is trying to build something on his own or with some capital which is borrowed, etc. And he wants to work around that. So there you have to be frugal. That's one of the key important aspect. Frugal, not at the cost of delivering the solution, but cognizant of that whether you can get the work done with the limited means. Because if a founder is always constantly under pressure of the finances, he will never be able to focus on the services or solution or big dreams which you want to achieve. So you have to keep your finances sorted. So that was my thought process. I don't believe in any fancy things about, having a lavish office, big team, show off, etc. and all. So we started with 2 people as the business grew. So for us, it is that what comes first. You spend and then you earn, or you earn and then you spend. So for me, it is always that you create an space or opportunity for earn, and then you think about spending. What we do in our personal investment also. Everyone says that from your income, savings को हटा दो, बाकी जो बचे उसको खर्च करो. That's similarly the philosophy is business. That you create an earning opportunity, and from there you figure out that okay, what is the bare minimum or what is critical for me to spend. Obviously there is certain portion you always have to invest for the future growth, but that should come from the kitty of your business only. So we started with 2 people, we delivered, we slogged, stretched, and as the business opportunity grew, we increased our team. What is the outcome for this? Personally, what I feel, and when I look at my friend circle or some fellow entrepreneurs also, during COVID also, we have not done, until now, in 8 years, we have never done a downsizing. Not a single person has been asked to leave because we don't have a work opportunity for him. Yes, there is individual who are not able to deliver to the work. We have replaced them, but not because we have not enough business opportunities we have asked anyone to do. COVID came, business got impacted. But since our strategy was to keep earning in front, we were able to maintain our entire team without even a single pay cut. So for me, because that's the stickiness. For us, the attrition is very low. My if I talk of 100 people, as we have grew, our first 10 employees who were there, out of that 8 are still with us. So for me, that is the win.
Yeah.
So definitely revenue numbers are important, but when you feel out of 10 people you hired, your first 10 employees, out of that 8 employees are still with you. Why they are with you? They got the respect. They feel they are able to contribute to the business. You are treating them as a not just an as employee. You are taking them as a family, and you are able to deliver what they expect out of for their work: timely salary, um, proper appraisals, etc. You are able to deliver because you always kept that my earning is 2 steps ahead of my expenses. So that's the way I feel the business should be done, because then it's more sustainable. छोटे मोटे शॉक्स आएंगे, आप ऑब्जॉर्व कर पाओगे. अदरवाइज आपने एक्सपेंसेस बढ़ा दिए हैं और इनकम लिमिटेड रखी है. द मोमेंट इनकम पे थोड़ा बहुत भी प्रेशर आया, आपके पास में चॉइस ही नहीं होगी, आपको क्या करना पड़ेगा. So that's how for us it has worked out from 2 members team to 3-digit number which we have grown. So that's a journey, and it takes time. So I always tell people that you should not run after the achievement or showcase in the initial steps. Success should speak on itself. Success should not be said. That's my mantra which is there. If you are successful, people will come to know. But you don't need to boast about that I'm successful, because many a time people make this mistake. To prove themselves successful, they go overboard. When they go overboard, they do something which is not even required for business. And when you are at a superficial level and we are trying artificial success which you are trying to prove, that's have a limited life. So you should build substance, not a superficial.
If I ask you, what is success according to you?
Success is both, is if you're entrepreneur, if you talk about, I feel an entrepreneur is successful when you are able to serve your means, which are there, whatever you dreamed of. There is no end to material, success. But yes, you are able to live a good life and you are able to give time to your family. You have some good clients with you and they are talking in your absence some good things about you, then that's a success for you. So वैसे कोई success का number नहीं है, इतना achieve कर लिया तो successful है या वो है. But yes, if you are able to run your business and give time to your family, so personal and professional both front पे, so then it's success for you. Nothing.
तो कभी ऐसा हुआ है कि कोई आपका ऐसा एम्प्लॉय जिसके साथ आपका बहुत ज़्यादा इमोशनल बॉन्ड बन जाता है, ऐसा आपने कहा कि स्टार्टिंग से अगर कोई आपके साथ एंड तक है तो उसके साथ बहुत एक फैमिली वाला रिलेशन बन जाता है और उसने छोड़ना चाहा हो कि मुझे अब नहीं करना है, तो कभी ऐसा फेस आपके लाइफ
बहुत आते हैं.
तो इमोशंस को कैसे कंट्रोल किया जा सकता है वहाँ पे?
You will have to, till the person is with you, you are emotionally connected because you feel his growth is your responsibility. As an employer, it is what? That I feel that my team, the 100 members who are there with me, their growth is my responsibility. So I have to grow business in a manner that I am able to deliver growth, individual growth to the team. So definitely there is a connection for you. But at the same time, you will have to have an attachment is a good part, but over attachment is not good. So people will come. Obviously, there will a certain stage will come where they will get a better opportunity than what you can provide. If you can match that, you will be able to. But you can't do everywhere. And that's where I see that people should do job or some experience themselves. Because when I was in job, for me what helps, because I also switched job. So I know it, everyone does this. I did for my career growth. So do the team will do. So there is no harm in it. So when you think in that manner, you actually feel that okay, even if you can't retain it, that's good for him if he is switching the career. So let him go, and you keep a good relationship with him. So over attachment, is good, where and definitely you can't have the dependence on one person. So having an emotional bond is one, but rationally you will always have to have that you are not so dependent on a person that you feel that in absence of him, nothing can't be done. So as a business person, you should not create that dependence. So that's what I feel, that you, till the time they are with you, you are emotionally connected to them. If they want to live for a betterment of their job or for their career, they will do that. But that doesn't mean that your relationship is ending. For us, it has happened that people left us, they have joined some companies and all, and from there they approach us. Okay, Nishcha, this is something which work is coming, so why don't we do it together? Because that's an healthy relationship. You don't want a, वही कहते हैं ना कि सिक माइंडसेट की रिलेशनशिप होती है, जहाँ पे आप चाहते हो कि मैं इस बंदे को पकड़ के ही रखूँ, जाने ही नहीं दूँ. तो वो तो आप उसको ऐसा करोगे तो यार एक्चुअली इट इज अ सफोकेटेड
एक्चुअली ऐसा
रिलेशनशिप.
होता भी है.
There are many people who do this, where you will try. So I have if I talk about an example.
Yeah.
So हमने जब क्रेजी स्टूडियो हायर किया था, so we have a team, and I always put a bet on people. Team, when we were hiring, I got a call from their previous employee stating that what you are doing is wrong. This person has this, that, and all. I personally feel that as a weakness rather than a strength of the employee. Because if you feel that one person is leaving, you're so agitated that you have called the other employer and you're trying to do. So a mature person will take that, okay, this person's weakness, because if I feel a person will go, if I feel there is something wrong with him, the other person will find out on himself, rather than I go and do a backbiting about it. That's not going to work. So it happens every time. So I feel a healthy relationship is always where you encourage them, you drive the growth, but you don't hold them back. So that's what whether
बिजनेस में कभी आपको कोई ऐसा टफेस्ट डिसीजन लेना पड़ा हो?
बहुत होते हैं डे टू डे में. आई कांट रिकॉल, मतलब आई फील एवरी डे देयर इज सम टफ डिसीजंस which are part of which are there on the, so I can't count any, but there are many. Every day is a new challenge, decision making which is there. It's about how calmly you can take it. That's decide whether you are right or wrong. So,
अब हम अगर क्रेजी स्टूडियो और क्रेजी ब्रेन की बात करें तो एक आईटी सेक्टर, सर्विस सेक्टर से एक मीडिया सेक्टर में आना, दोनों अलग अलग चीज़ें हैं. ये जंप आप प्लीज़ एक्सप्लेन करिए, ये जंप कैसे था, मतलब एकदम से, क्योंकि जो सर्विस सेक्टर में होगा वो उसी की बात करेगा, उसी के बारे में सोचेगा, लेकिन आपने क्रेजी स्टूडियो एक प्रोडक्शन हाउस बनाने का सोचा. ये जंप के बारे में थोड़ा सा आप प्लीज़ ब्रीफ कीजिए.
टू वेज, अगर आप मेरी हिस्ट्री देखेंगे तो यू विल ऑलवेज फील आई एम अ पर्सन हुज डजंट बिलीव इन वॉकिंग अ स्ट्रेट पाथ. तो मैंने अपनी हायर स्टडीज़ की थी तब साइंस बायो था, ग्रेजुएशन बीसीए किया, फिर एमबीए किया, फिर रिसर्च में गया, वहाँ से मार्केटिंग ब्रांड मैनेजमेंट था, वहाँ से आईटी कंपनी की, वहाँ से ये किया. आई पर्सनली फील दिस बाउंड्रीज आर created in our mind. Actually, there is no such boundaries are there, because what you are dealing, the ultimate principle is that you are solving or you are delivering a solution to the team. Business is more about mindset and attitude than the skill. So that's what for me, the path was. I started with IT because I feel in IT people are development, they are doing good development. So I don't feel, I never say Crazy Brain has the best quality of the developers, but we say that Crazy Brain know what the client want. I can articulate what your requirement is very well. I can connect and I can convert that into a solution which can be developed. So development itself is not a big differentiator for Crazy Brain, but understanding the business, connecting the business requirement to a IT part is what a Crazy Brain stands for. Similarly, when we talk about Crazy Studio, so there are many media houses. We don't have any history of being in media, or we were not running any news channel, shooting, podcast, and all. But the whole idea here was that there is a need in the market where you do the best of the services and you handhold the inspiring podcasters to grow. So what worked for Crazy Brain is that you work with companies, you understand their business, and then you connect with the technology to deliver the best solution. That same philosophy we are applying here. That we have the team who knows the media part. It's okay if I don't know, but basic principle of business we all understand. So there is a team who knows the expert into the media and the solution part, but how to help you create a relationship with them, not just a transactional service. You make the journey of podcast easier for the individual. So we feel that there is a need for that, and that's the thought process with which we started CraziStudio, and we are doing good till now.
या और सर क्रेजी स्टूडियो की बात करें तो रवि सर को मतलब बहुत सारे लोग जानते हैं जब क्रेजी स्टूडियो की बात आती है, तो प्लीज़ आप वो कनेक्शन हमारे साथ शेयर कीजिए कि उनका इन्वॉल्वमेंट कैसा हुआ, कैसे हुआ इस क्रेजी ब्रेन के साथ क्रेजी स्टूडियो में रवि सर जी का।
रवि को मैं जानता हूँ जब मैंने अपनी एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप जर्नी स्टार्ट की थी 2018 में। जैसे मैंने आपको बोला कि मैं जब नोटिस पीरियड में ही था, आई गॉट स्टार्टेड ऑन द प्रोजेक्ट। आई टुक अ हंच कि यार ये नीड है, ये सॉल्यूशंस है, देयर इज़ अ गैप, आई थिंक क्रेजी ब्रेन विल ट्राई टू फिल दैट इन। बट एक्चुअल में काम कैसे होता है, वो जब तक आप डोंट यू थ्रो योर सेल्फ इन द वाटर, यू डोंट नो हाउ टू स्विम और हाउ टू ड्राइव। तो जब तक वो कार के स्टीयरिंग पे नहीं बैठोगे, वो थियोरिटिकल और प्रैक्टिकल में हमेशा डिफरेंस होता है। सो द मोमेंट यू वी स्टार्टेड गेटिंग द कैंपेन्स, नाउ वी हैव टू डीप मेक इट ए स्मॉल पीस एंड फिगर आउट ये पीस सॉल्व कैसे होता है। वन ऑफ द पीस वॉज अराउंड IVR रिकॉर्डिंग कैसे करवानी है। वी फिगर्ड इट आउट थ्रू गूगल। आई कनेक्टेड मैनी एजेंसीज, Ravi's agency was one of them. There Ravi was working. But when you talk to people, you realize that he was very keen. At the odd moment you are calling, the person is picking up the call. You're saying something is urgent, he's saying yes to you. He was the guy who never create a roadblock for you. You always try to, okay, if this is the problem, हम इसको ऐसे नहीं ऐसे solve करेंगे, ये problem है ऐसे नहीं ऐसे solve करेंगे. And that was my mindset, which I started talking, that you should be a solution seeker. So that was the connecting chord, with Ravi was. And since 2018 to I think around 21 or 22 or possibly more than that, I did only work with Ravi. Whenever it is related to any shoot, any recording, anything was there, it was Ravi. And I felt that he always delivered. I never let me down. There were many incidences. If I will keep talking, I think the entire podcast will go around that only. Yeah. So we'll have some other day for role of Ravi in CraziStudio. But I think the moot point is that he has this entrepreneur mindset. He has all the ticks which are there. That is the solution seeker, he's dependable and all. So when he was making a decision to switch from his current where he was working previously, we had a discussion, and till that time I never had a plan to move into a studio or any part. The moment he said, I say, okay, let's do it something, because it is the team or the people who make the business success. So if you have the right team, and I feel that getting a person like him is a very rare opportunity. So the moment he said, I decided that we will do something into this industry. And since then, it is the journey. So he's always till now, whatever is the journey you said, like everyone knows Ravi because that's his nature, that's his USP. That वो जहाँ पे खड़ा होगा, he will steal the show. वो किसी और को नहीं आगे आने देगा. He'll make such a relationship with the way he made it with me. I'm sure he's doing it with his current CraziStudio clients also. And no one can do that job better than him. So it's great to have a person like him.
इधर से अगर हमारा एक पॉइंट ये आ रहा है कि स्टूडियो के बहुत सारे नाम हो सकते हैं सर, प्रोफेशनली कोई भी नाम रख सकते हैं हम. Why this word crazy?
You see Crazy Brain, you see CraziStudio. So I feel crazy is an essential part because that defines courage. So crazy has a multiple meaning. Crazy is about doing something which is not, straightforward or standard solution for you. Moving from a brand to an IT was not a straightforward path. So every individual has to be crazy in their thought, because स्ट्रेट पाथ जब आप जाते हैं ना, तो आपको स्ट्रेट रिजल्ट्स या एक लीनियर एफर्ट, लीनियर पाथ विल डिलीवर लीनियर रिजल्ट टू यू. You should always be open to explore the parallels. So parallels means going out of what your path is and something which is going parallel to you. If you connect the two, you can make the. So crazy is also about not going with obvious, doing something out of the league, having the courage to do something. So, and delivering something extraordinary. So whether it is CraziStudio and all, the idea is not to do what others are doing. You try to do something which is disturbing the industry, is what you're trying to do. So that's where crazy is very integral part of our entrepreneur or our ecosystem which we talk about. So we feel that everyone should be, so that's one of the key criteria कि अगर crazy brain हो या crazy studio हो, हमें crazy team चाहिए, हमें सीधे सीधे लोग नहीं चाहिए. Someone who is willing to take the extraordinary leap, someone जो थोड़ा सा पागल हो अपने solution को deliver करने करके, passionate हो, पागल हो, courage हो. So that's the word crazy means. So for us that is the reason.
And I guess it rocks.
I feel it is rocking till now, and it gives you the conversation starter. So wherever I sit, there is always that, why did you, what is crazy about you? And the moment say something, now the ball is in my court. Now I can market him, कि पूरी अपनी story मैं बेच सकता हूँ. So that's a conversation starter also.
क्रेजी स्टूडियो और क्रेजी ब्रेन की बात चल रही है, तो दिल्ली एनसीआर में बहुत सारे स्टूडियोज हैं, अभी भी मतलब बहुत नए भी ओपन हो रहे हैं और बहुत अभी चल भी रहे हैं. क्रेजी स्टूडियो, आज हम आपसे पूछेंगे कि क्रेजी स्टूडियो ऐसा क्या डिफरेंट कर रहा है जो ऑडियंस को सिर्फ यहीं पे अट्रैक्ट करता है.
Relationship is there. I cannot comment that हम जो पॉडकास्ट करते हैं या कुछ करते हैं तो हमारे पास में कोई वर्ल्ड के ऐसे इक्विपमेंट्स है जो दुनिया में कहीं पे भी नहीं है, या हमारे पास में ऐसे कैमरामैन है या ऐसी लाइटिंग है जो आज तक नोएडा एनसीआर, दिल्ली एनसीआर में किसी के पास भी नहीं है. बट ये चीज़ मैं बोल सकता हूँ, जो रिलेशनशिप हम क्रिएट करते हैं, जो एक बॉन्ड के साथ में हम आपको कंफर्ट देते हैं पॉडकास्ट की जर्नी स्टार्ट करने का, दैट कैन आई बेट कि नो अदर स्टूडियो कैन डिलीवर. We don't sell just the podcast. We create a relationship, we create a journey with you, and we are an integral part of that journey. So वो आपको और कहीं नहीं मिलेगा.
क्रेजी में ही मिलेगा.
वो क्रेजी में ही मिलेगा, because that's what is different. What you are not just selling. You're not selling a video shoot or editing. What you're selling is a comfort. When you give a comfort to a customer, when you feel that, okay, everyone is nervous in their podcast journey, someone may be expert, someone will be there, but everyone need that there is someone standing with me. Even I am an entrepreneur after 8 years, I feel wherever I feel that, okay, someone is standing with me, I am in a different comfort. So if you as a podcast studio, just not that you come here and shoot and I'll give you the edit, but I give you that relationship that, okay, I'm standing with you, don't worry, हो जाएगा. बस just that don't worry आप जब कस्टमर को दे देते हो ना, you create a loyalty. So that's where the CraziStudio stands for.
और एक कंसिस्टेंसी जो है वो बहुत ज़रूरी होती है. आई गेस हर किसी बिजनेस में, चाहे वो मीडिया का हो या आईटी सर्विस हो, मार्केटिंग हो, तो आप ये चीज़ मतलब अप्रूव करते हैं कि क्रेजी स्टूडियो और क्रेजी ब्रेन जो है वो एक कंसिस्टेंसी बिल्ड करता है कस्टमर्स के साथ.
कंसिस्टेंसी के बहुत मीनिंग हो सकते हैं मेहुल. Consistency in terms of that we will consistently give you a good output. Yes, you will have to do a tick mark on the quality of output which you are delivering. So सब पार आप कभी नहीं दे सकते हो. So you will always have to do better than that. Consistently we are able to maintain the relationship with you, yes, which are there. So consistency has various aspects. And yes, what is the integral part is any business you do, the moment you move beyond just the service or product which you are selling and you are into a relationship zone, you create a loyalty and you create a space where competitor cannot disturb you. You take best of the examples of any brand. If you take, let's suppose, the Coke. So Coke is not just a cold carbonated drink. They've created a bond. They've created the relationship
That loyalty.
that open the happiness which is there. So what they're talking about, they're not talking about the product. They're talking about that emotional bond. They're talking about, I am the companion for you. I'm the enabler for your happiness moment. So I will add a pinch to your happiness moment. So that is what a product or a service, when it moves beyond the functional aspect which they are delivering and move to the emotional or a relationship aspect, they are actually not worried about competition. Because then, as a CraziStudio, we are not bothered about there are 10 podcast studios happen. Because we are really confident about जो relationship हम देंगे, जो comfort हम देंगे. There is no reason that people should switch until unless we do goof up in our services. Definitely the hygiene, the quality we will maintain. Then I'm not giving a reason. If I'm giving you good quality, acceptable, satisfactory, or better than that, I'm having good comfort with you, and there is a team who's always standing for you, why someone will switch? Because कस्टमर के लिए भी तो स्विच करना पेन है ना. इट इज़ नॉट एन ईजी टास्क. ऐसा तो है नहीं आज मुझे यहाँ जाना है, कल मुझे वहाँ जाना है, तो वॉन्डरिंग करना या स्विच करना किसी लिए ईजी नहीं. So until unless you give him the reason, no one will switch it. So that's what we try to do. Consistently staying upon the aspects which make us work for.
अगर हम वापस एज अ पर्सन आपकी बात करें तो बहुत बार ऐसा होता है, अगर मैं खुद की भी बात करूँ कि एडवाइस अगर हमें कोई दे रहा है तो हम नहीं सुनते, लेकिन बाद में रिग्रेट होता है कि हमने एडवाइस नहीं सुनी, उसकी बात सुन ली होती तो ऐसा होता. कभी आपके साथ ऐसा हुआ है?
Yeah, these are the aspect which happens with anyone, whether it is an entrepreneur or whether it is an individual. But the quickly you realize and then you learn from these things, that's there. So I always say that committing mistake, I tell everyone, committing mistake is not a problem. Repeating mistake is a crime. So अगर आप एक ही चीज़ से सीख नहीं रहे हो और वही चीज़ बार बार कर रहे हो, so if you are regretting again and again, then there is a problem. So you will have always those aspects जहाँ पे you have not listened to someone and you regret it later. It's okay. But you should learn from it and next time you should do it from them. More than that, I always feel that you should listen to your team. You should listen to your customer patiently. Because we judge ourselves by our intentions and others by their actions. So हमें क्या लगता है जब क्लाइंट मांगता है तो हम हमेशा क्लाइंट को पीछे से क्रीप करते हैं. अरे यार वो तो है ही ऐसा, इतने रुपए में इतनी चीज़ें मांगता है, वो करता है. Humans have this tendency to be pity on themselves, be kind on themselves, है ना. और बाकी सब पे हम kind नहीं होते. So quickly we realize this and we try to look when someone is saying something to us. If we can connect with what perspective is he saying this, it's easier for us to appreciate his thought or point of view and then accept that. Face value पे accept करना हमेशा difficult होता है. So I always say that you try to look behind when he says something, try to understand what is the perspective with which he is saying this. The moment you have a perspective and what he is saying, if you can connect these two dots, it is always easier for you to accept other person's point of view. So that's what I practice and I always advise everyone in my team that they should do in this manner. So that's easier for you.
बिल्कुल. और अगर हम पर्सनल ब्रांडिंग की बात करें कि किसी भी फाउंडर को या बिजनेसमैन को मीडिया प्रेजेंस आज के टाइम में ज़रूरी है?
Depends. Again, I will say there is no right and wrong answer, I would say. But yes, personal branding is very important. Media is a tool. So I'll come on that later. But yes, personal branding is very important because people do business with people. People don't do business with a company or something. There are people behind that company which connects with the client, and that's where the relationship starts. So when we started, till now, if I talk about Crazy Brain, so we never do any media publicity, anything for us. Still we grew, 40-50% CAGR पे हम हर साल year on year we are growing. What is the reason behind that? Because there is a personal branding which you carry. When we worked, when we were in job, people have seen you. So people are very observant whether they say it or not. When they see you that you are doing a right work, it will always resonate with them. And when the right moment come, when you have the opportunity and we have their perception that okay, this person was doing right work, they will give business to you. So it is a founder's starting of an entrepreneur journey. It is the founder's branding which drives the business. Later on, it is your core teams who are interacting, how they behave, their branding comes into the picture. So yes, it is an individual's or personal branding is very critical, and how you do it. So I am personal. If you ask me, I always say that substance come before, you know, anything. So you should do where you add substance to your branding, which means when people, what is branding? You know, if you ask me, the definition of branding is what people talk about you or a product or a brand in a room where you are not present. That defines your brand. So if Nishchaya is not there, but what people are talking about Nishchaya, in absence of Nishchaya, defines what is the brand of a Nishchaya. For that, your media or your television cannot create that. They can create awareness. They can get a share of mind, but they cannot get a persuasion, interest level, cannot come from television. It is good for D2C brands, but for a B2B or a service industry, you'll have to add substance to it. And the substance come from with people you have worked for, with client where you have delivered. When they talk about you, that's more important than what you are talking about yourself. So for us, it has worked that our growth till now is 100% organic. It's 100% word of mouth. And that for me is more proudful rather than I'm standing in an exhibition and I'm boasting about I can do this, I can do that. I can create awareness about this. But if I don't have a substance, I'll fail miserably. So add substance to your branding first, then you can create awareness about yourself through
जैसे आपने
media.
कहा कि क्रेजी ब्रेन में आपने कभी मीडिया प्रेजेंस रखा ही नहीं, तो आपको कभी लगा भी नहीं कि हमें मीडिया प्रेजेंस रखनी चाहिए इसमें?
बहुत बार लगा है and we are going to work on that.
हाँ.
But what I say is that for me the funnel works. I'm a person, bottom to up is always the best approach. What is a traditional funnel? Create awareness. 100 people you make aware, 10 or 20 will come to you, they will show interest, they will talk to you. Out of 10 and 20, you communicate, you make some people aware about your offerings, people will show interest, and then finally 1% or 2% will convert. That's the best scenario. I feel that your funnel should be cylindrical. And how can you make the funnel cylindrical or broader? Is when you have more substance. Because if I make 100 people aware and I have enough people created a community around me. So, first is if I talk of Crazy Brain is a sector specific. We always focus on a CPG and FMCG sector.
Okay.
We are not like for everyone. So, we have a specific sector. In that, we have worked for almost 80% of India's top brand we have worked with. Now we feel that we are at a stage where we will go and we will have our media presence and all. Now what will happen? If I go to someone, when I say, okay, these are the solution, I've already delivered many of the solution. I've seen what works, what doesn't work. I have enough examples. I have enough clients for testimonials. So if I go to a new client and I say, okay, I have to make your merchandising more effective, do these 2-3 things, these are my solution which will work, these are the results which I have delivered, these are my client, go and take the testimony for it and all. So I have enough substance with me to convert that particular customer. If I would have done that 8 years ago, I say I feel I can deliver it. Now when I talk to people, I say I have already delivered it. So there is a difference. When I say I have delivered it, go and check with the so and so customer. So then that itself work for you. So I feel you should add substance to your branding first. You should test yourself what works for you, what doesn't work for you. Everything is not meant for you. So if you do a branding or if you go masses and then you realize that okay, this thing is not going to work for me. So you should, like we say, beta testing should be done at a closer sample size. So you should start small. You test it out. What's working for you? What's not working for you? Get enough experience under your belt that when you go, you have confidence. Confidence cannot be artificially. Confidence cannot come. It will come naturally when you have done and you know that you can do it. Get that confidence. Get enough recommendation. Get enough testimony. Get enough results on your side. Then you go with media and you create a mass awareness for you that's going to work out. So it's always a stage wise process. So people say that you will lose the bus in this if you will delay,
Yeah.
someone else will come and do. But to me, that doesn't work out. There is always enough opportunity, enough space for people to sign and grow. But the best conversion जो होता है ना, वो word of mouth से होता है.
वो तो
So वो कभी भी unknown media से नहीं होता है. They can create an awareness for you, but conversion हमेशा बहुत low रहेगा.
बट आई गेस ये हमारा माइंडसेट भी होना चाहिए अगर आपने डिसाइड कर लिया कि वर्ड ऑफ माउथ से होता है, मीडिया से, क्योंकि बहुत सारे लोग हैं वो यही सोचते हैं कि हम प्रमोशन जितनी करें, जितनी एड्स या मीडिया का सहारा लेंगे, उससे ही ज़्यादा चीज़ें होंगी. लाइक पर आई गेस कि ये ज़्यादा चीज़ें जो हैं हमारे माइंडसेट से होती है.
There is nothing. Every brand aspire for this when we work in FMCG sector ना. और जो मेरा एक्सपीरियंस कहता है, एक आइडियल स्टेट होता है यार, मुझे ना लॉयल्टी और रिकमेंडेशन अचीव करना है. हर ब्रांड का अल्टीमेट स्टेज वो होता है. बिकॉज अदरवाइज आपकी जो बिजनेस है वो लीकी बकेट की तरह है कि आप ऊपर से 10 कस्टमर डालोगे, नीचे से 3 कस्टमर 4 कस्टमर निकलते जाएंगे. सो यू विल नेवर हैव द रिटेंशंस एंड ऑल. व्हेन योर कस्टमर्स, द बेस्ट मार्केटिंग एनी ब्रांड्स वांट इज दैट माय कस्टमर एडवोकेट माय ब्रांड. दैट इज द बेस्ट फॉर्म ऑफ मार्केटिंग. उससे अच्छी मार्केटिंग कोई नहीं हो सकती. सो इफ यू फील यू कैन डू दैट, उससे अच्छा कुछ भी नहीं हो सकता है. When you feel that you cannot do this or it's not working for you, then to me honestly, rather than making a noise to get more customer, you should go and fix out that first. Because जब तक वो chain effect नहीं बनेगा ना, growth लाना बहुत मुश्किल है.
तो यहीं से हम मीडिया की बात चल रही है, तो यहीं से जैसे आपने भी शायद देखा होगा रील्स में आजकल जेनजी एम्प्लॉयज़ की बहुत ज़्यादा वो एक बूम चल रहा है कि उनका काम करने का तरीका अलग है बाकी एम्प्लॉयज़ से. तो आपको भी ऐसा जेनजी एम्प्लॉयज़ के साथ डील करना पड़ता होगा या कर रहे होगे, तो प्लीज़ अपना एक्सपीरियंस शेयर करो.
देखिए, हर जनरेशन्स कम विद अ डिफरेंट रेट. बिकॉज जिस जनरेशन में पॉसिबली जैसे हम ग्रो अप हुए थे, the type of resources, the type of surrounding was there, that's deeply rooted in our mindset. So हम चाहे कितना भी आप सक्सेसफुल हो जाओ, बट वो जो डीप रूटेड बिलीफ है, डीप रूटेड कनेक्शंस है, वो नहीं चाहते हैं. सिमिलरली आज की जनरेशन एक अलग नए दौर से आ रही है जहाँ पे उनको स्ट्रगल नहीं होता है किसी भी चीज़ को सॉल्व करने का, क्योंकि चैट जीपीटी है, टेक है, ये है, आप बोलो मैं कल सॉल्व कर दूंगा. सो फॉर मी हार्ड वर्क इज नॉट इम्पॉर्टेंट. फॉर मी द अवेयरनेस अबाउट फ्रॉम वेयर टू फाइंड द सॉल्यूशन इज देयर. सो दैट्स डिफरेंट. वी केम फ्रॉम एन जनरेशन दैट इफ यू हैव टू फाइंड आउट समथिंग यू शुड बी रेडी टू डू हार्ड वर्क. आज की जनरेशन बिलीव करती है हार्ड वर्क इज नॉट द सक्सेस के लिए क्रिटिकल एलिमेंट है. स्मार्टनेस, अवेयरनेस ऑफ वेयर टू फाइंड द सॉल्यूशन इज इम्पॉर्टेंट. सो यू हैव टू रेस्पेक्ट दैट. People at a deep rooted, their belief or systems could be different. Their way of working could be different. But ultimately, we all are human. When you understand that, you should not have a problem of, let's suppose, ये बंदा सैटरडे संडे काम करने को रेडी नहीं है क्योंकि आजकल के जेंजी का फिक्स टाइम होता है that I want to keep a balance between my personal life and professional life. You should appreciate that. What they can deliver in that 10 to 6. If you're satisfied that, then it is not important for you to impose your beliefs on someone else. Ultimately, if they are able to provide the solution to you, that's good enough for me. So if an employee who says that I won't work on Saturday, I won't work late night, but whatever is your requirement, I will deliver it to you, whether I do a smart work or hard work. Ultimate outcome तो solution है ना. तो जब तक solution deliver हो रहा है, why should you have a problem with the means how the solution is coming. So if we understand that, then there is no conflict. Like I said that initially also, when you impose your belief system on other, that's where the conflict comes. When you accept or embrace the differences between different generations which are there, but they have different style of working, but ultimately तो वो deliver वो भी कर रहे हैं, deliver मैं भी कर रहा हूँ, deliver चाहे मेरी generation के बाद का कोई बंदा होगा वो भी कर रहा है. So that's style is different. So approach different है, चाहे T20 का बैटर हो या टेस्ट का बैट्समैन हो. अल्टीमेटली जब तक वो स्कोर कर रहा है, आपको क्या प्रॉब्लम होनी चाहिए, वो कैसे खेले.
मतलब जेनजी भी उतने हार्ड वर्किंग हैं जितने की मिलेनियल्स.
They are able to deliver the results. I won't say hard working. There might be segments which are there, but they have their mean to deliver result. Our generation has a different way of delivering result. So our method is different, but they are also equally able to deliver the results. We are able to deliver the results. So the method or the process is different, but they are able to give the equal impact or possibly sometimes the better impact than what the previous generation was delivering. So that's a blessing for you rather than a problem. So I look
तो
at
मतलब
it.
आपके लिए जेनजी से डील करना इजी है.
I haven't faced any problem till now.
Okay. मतलब ये सब अगर हम बोले तो ये मिथ ही है या मतलब
It is a myth. It is a myth. It is a, there are two parts. जो हम social media में देखते हैं. So that's done for making it viral. Because wherever there is a conflict, that content has a virality. So if I talk about my generation, we were told reach office 5 minutes early. जब तक आपका मैनेजर काम कर रहा है, आप रुक के बैठ के काम करो. You should be the last one to leave. That's the belief system with which we work. Their belief system is different. So there is a conflict. There is a conflict that has a virality. Because you need, with every generation, you need the right people or the generation change should be there in the organization also. If I will feel that, if I won't have those Gen Z employee with me, but my client over a period to whom I am dealing will be the Gen Z. If I say I cannot deal with Gen Z here, how will I deal with the Gen Z who's there on the client side? So you will have to accept that process or method is different, but they are equally doing the productive task which you are doing. So quantity doesn't matter. It is the quality which matters.
And it's a big thing, I guess.
So that's what works for you.
अगर हम पॉडकास्ट कल्चर की बात करें तो आपके अकॉर्डिंग पॉडकास्ट कल्चर जो है अभी आजकल बहुत ट्रेंडिंग में चल रहा है, क्या ये लोगों के माइंडसेट को भी बदल रहा है?
देखिए, there are two parts to, I feel. We'll have to understand why podcast as a segment has grown so rapidly. We always know that you should learn from others' experiences. Okay. So आप कहीं से बुक्स पढ़ते हैं या आप कहीं भी करते हैं, इन्फॉर्मेशन कंज्यूम करना एक ह्यूमन की इंट्रिंसिक नीड है. फ्रॉम वेयर डू यू गेट इन्फॉर्मेशन? दैट मीडियम्स आर चेंजिंग. नाउ व्हाई पॉडकास्ट आर बूमिंग? बिकॉज पॉडकास्ट इज कॉन्वर्सेशनल इन नेचर. व्हेन टू पीपल टॉक लाइक you and me are talking, it's easier for the viewers to relate because I'm not standing in front of a screen and I'm giving them gyan. It is a conversation. It is two people talking. So since it is a conversational in nature, it's easier for viewers to consume. And they learn from, because you call people who are expert in the domain or those who have gone through the journey which many people are yet to start or they are about to start or they've just started. So they are able to get the experiences which someone has walked the path. So if you observe and if you learn from the people who have already walked the path, you will not commit the mistakes which they committed. You will know what worked for them might work for you. And podcast is the easy to process method where two people talking. So it's viewer can relate to like a host, like you are talking to me. Viewer actually put themselves in your shoes. And they feel okay. They are talking to me. They are understanding the journey. So the moment it's conversational, it resonates with them, it is stick to them, and it has a longevity. that information is more memorable. So that is the reason podcasts are booming. And पहले जो हमारे वे होते थे जहाँ पे individuals used to come, 1 घंटे का वीडियो देंगे या वो करेंगे, that's a boredom because that's a monologue. One person talking, other person receiving. So today's time, monologues are very difficult to consume and process. You get bored very easily. When it is dialogue, when two people are talking, conversing, it's easier for processing because that's more conversational. So that's the nature why podcast has boomed because content बहुत ज़्यादा है. आज के टाइम पे आपको किसी भी टॉपिक पे अगर लर्न करना है, it takes too much of an effort. But it's easier to find it on YouTube and listen to someone in a conversational manner when you are not actively studying or you're not researching on that part. So that is the reason behind podcast growth. And I personally feel it will continue to happen. जितना ज़्यादा content होगा, उतना ज़्यादा there is a need for an easy way to process and get that content consume. Content consume सबको करना है, but what is the easiest way in which they can consume the content? So that's a podcast conversational. So there is no other way. I feel that people feel this is a bubble which will blast and all. The more because Indian audience, India का market बहुत बड़ा है, लोग बहुत तेजी से आ रहे हैं, digital consumptions बढ़ रहे हैं, it is bound to increase. So people will move from hard work to a smart work, and a smart work of information or learning. Currently, it's the podcast. So that it will continue. I feel it will continue to grow or even do better than what it is doing currently.
जैसे आपने अभी कहा कि कोई स्पीच दे रहा होगा सपोज या कोई वीडियो होगी, लॉन्ग वीडियो होगी, तो कोई उतने ध्यान से ऑडियंस नहीं सुनती है, इट्स अ बोर्डम. अगर मैं अपने नॉलेज से बताऊं तो आई गेस लिसनिंग मतलब सुनने की हमारे अंदर जो क्षमता है वो 30 या 35 मिनट्स ही होती है एक टाइम पे. तो पॉडकास्ट उस चीज़ को कैसे फुलफिल करता है, क्योंकि वो भी कभी 1 घंटे का या 2.5 घंटे का 2 घंटे का हो जाता है, तो वो कैसे उस चीज़ को फुलफिल कर पाता है?
मैं बताता हूँ, मैं जैसे आप होता था when I don't know whether you experienced it or not, but आप जब बच्चे थे, छोटे थे, आपको स्कूल में जब कोई एक चैप्टर दे देता था और ये बोलता था कि यार ये पूरा लर्न करना है, 30 मिनट्स हो गए, तो टाइम यूज टू इन योर मेंटल टाइम इज रनिंग फास्टर देन एक्चुअली व्हाट इट इज. वो 20 मिनट्स होते थे, आपको लगता था अरे यार इतनी देर हो गई, अभी तक ये खत्म नहीं हो रहा है. और वही आप जब टीवी देख रहे होते हो, है ना, तो बच्चे को टाइम कैसे पास होता है, इन इज मेंटल टाइम स्लो रन हो रहा है, एक्चुअल में टाइम फास्ट रन हो रहा है. सो व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन द टू सिनेरियोज? द डिफरेंस इज when they are studying or when they are doing something, actually they are not enjoying. It's a burden on them. So wherever there is a pressure in your mental stage, time will run faster than actually what it's running. When you will enjoy, let's suppose you are with your friend, you are talking, or when you are say, you won't realize. हम कई बार बोलते हैं ना यार, अरे 2 घंटे हो गए, पता ही नहीं चला. Why it is happening? Because in your mind the time is running actually slower than what it is, because you are enjoying that moment. So wherever there is an enjoyment, time is not a problem. जब कोई वीडियो देखना है ना, तो वो वीडियो में क्या हो रहा है, they have to listen, they have to process, because it is a monologue, the speaker is speaking from his perspective. So मैं अपना ज्ञान दिए जा रहा हूँ, मैं बोले जा रहा हूँ, it's a single thought which is coming, है ना. So it is a monologue. Again I'm coming to that. वो रिलेट कर पा रहे हैं, देर इज़ नो ब्रेक इन बिटवीन, देर इज़ नो कॉन्टेक्स्ट. जब मैं स्विच किया, जैसे आप मुझसे अलग अलग क्वेश्चन पूछ रहे हो, वट यू आर एक्चुअली डूइंग, यू आर सेटिंग अप द कॉन्टेक्स्ट एंड आई एम रिस्पॉन्डिंग टू दोज कॉन्टेक्स्ट. जब हम मोनोलॉग में होते हैं तो एक्चुअली आई एम इन माई मेंटल स्टेज, आई एम सेटिंग द कॉन्टेक्स्ट एंड आई एम स्पीकिंग. सो आई एम एक्सपेक्टिंग द व्यूअर to understand that context has switched. So you understand that okay, context has switched and now connect the chord to me. So what you are giving, उसको ज़्यादा मेहनत करनी है प्रोसेस करने में इंफॉर्मेशन. द मोमेंट ही हैज़ टू डू मोर ट्रबल, मोर प्रोसेसिंग है, लेबर है, एफर्ट है, तो मेंटली फटीक जल्दी आएगा. एंड दैट्स वेयर दिस 30 मिनट्स 20 मिनट्स व्हाट वी से दिस नॉर्म्स कम इनटू द पिक्चर. पॉडकास्ट में फटीक नहीं है. Podcast में when there is a host and when there is a an anchor, so anchor is doing the job of removing that mental fatigue. They are making it conversational. They are taking the small bites of information and doing. So when you ask a question, I respond to that. We take a pause. You come, you set up the next context, I respond to that. So you are actually doing the work which a listener or viewers is supposed to do. You are doing on behalf of them. So आप उनका फटीक कम कर रहे हो. So उनके लिए प्रोसेस करना ईजी है. So वो चाहे 1 घंटे या 1.5 घंटे हो, दे फील लाइक अच्छा वो 1-2 लोगों की बात सुन रहे हैं. जब वो 2 लोगों की बात सुन रहे हैं, दे विच पॉडकास्ट इज सक्सेसफुल, वेयर अ व्यूअर कैन रिजोनेट और फील कि एंकर की जगह पे वो बैठा है और होस्ट एंकर से नहीं, वो व्यूअर से बात कर रहा है. दैट पॉडकास्ट इज सक्सेसफुल.
जहाँ पे वो ज़्यादा रिलेटेबल कंटेंट होता है.
रिलेटेबल. दैट्स वेयर वी फील दैट होस्ट से ज़्यादा एंकर का रोल बहुत क्रिटिकल है. 80% सक्सेस आपके हाथ में है, होस्ट के हाथ में तो उसको तो बोलना है उसके राउंड में. बट you do a lot of research, you feel what people want to listen, you frame the question in those manners. So you're actually not asking on your behalf. You are researching and you are asking the question on behalf of lakhs of people who are likely to view this. When you do that successfully, your job, जब उसको कोई देखेगा वो लगेगा अरे यार ये मेहुल तो वो क्वेश्चन पूछ रही है जो मुझे पूछने थे. और जब उसको पूछने और मैं उसको आंसर दे रहा हूँ तो इट इज मीन मैं उस बंदे से बात कर रहा हूँ. जब मैं और व्यूअर आपस में बात कर रहे हैं, वो उसको कभी बोर्डम नहीं होगी. आप और आपके दोस्त बात करते हो, आप बोर थोड़ी फील करते हो. सो दैट्स द सेम वे.
ये मेरे साथ भी बहुत बार होता है. लाइक मैं पॉडकास्ट करने बैठती हूँ 30 मिनट्स का और वो 40 का हो जाता है. मुझे भी पता नहीं चलता है क्योंकि
यू एंजॉय द कन्वर्सेशन.
और आई थिंक पॉडकास्ट मतलब मेन मतलब ही उसका यही है कि आपकी ऑडियंस और आप भी उसे एंजॉय कर पाओ, रिलेट कर पाओ.
सो सक्सेस ऑफ अ पॉडकास्ट वही होती है, आप वो नहीं कहना चाहते हैं जो आपको लोगों को सुनाना है. आप उनके नज़रिए से देखते हैं एंड आप वो कहते हैं जो लोग समझना, जानना या जिसके बारे में समझना चाहते हैं. आप वो चीज़ जब बोलेंगे तो आप उनसे कनेक्ट कर पाएंगे. जब आप उनसे कनेक्ट कर पाएंगे और वो चीज़ बोल रहे हैं जो वो देखना चाहते हैं, दे विल कंज्यूम द कंटेंट. So that's the difference.
इसी के साथ हम एक अभी रैपिड फायर कर लेते हैं. एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप आपके लिए चॉइस थी या डेस्टिनी?
चॉइस.
ओके. वन वर्ड फॉर क्रेजी स्टूडियो?
करेज.
क्रेजी ब्रेन?
करेज.
ओके. आइडिया एग्जीक्यूशन या टीम, क्या सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट?
टीम.
ओके. कंफर्ट जोन या कांस्टेंट लर्निंग?
कांस्टेंट लर्निंग.
यू चूज कांस्टेंट लर्निंग ओवर कंफर्ट जोन?
डेफिनेटली, बिकॉज कंफर्ट जोन से तो ग्रोथ आ ही नहीं सकती है. The moment you are comfortable, you are actually setting up the boundaries.
Trend follower or trend setter?
Trend setter.
Okay, that's great. Okay sir, बहुत अच्छा लगा हमें आपसे बात करके. बहुत सारी चीज़ें सीखने को मिली. और लाइक जैसे हमने अभी एंड में बात की कि उम्मीद करती हूँ कि हमारी ऑडियंस भी इस चीज़ों से कनेक्ट कर पाई होगी और उन्हें भी ये चीज़ हमारा पॉडकास्ट जो हमारी बातचीत जो है वो रिलेटेबल लगी होगी और अच्छी लगी होगी. एंड में जाते जाते सर प्लीज़ आप एक मैसेज हमारे जो यंग एंटरप्रेन्योर हैं, जो बिजनेस फील्ड में जाना चाहते हैं, जो स्टार्टअप स्टार्ट करना चाहते हैं, उनके लिए एक छोटा सा मैसेज प्लीज.
फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल थैंक यू मेहुल. आई थिंक इट वाज अ वंडरफुल कन्वर्सेशन टू हैव विद यू.
थैंक यू
एंड आई एम श्योर पीपल विल रिलेट टू इट. एंड सो एंटरप्रेन्योर्स हो या कोई भी यंग बंदा हो, मेरा ओनली मैसेज उनको वो होता है, थॉट से ऊपर उठना. क्योंकि जब हम बैठते हैं आइडियाज़ की कमी नहीं है. हर बंदे के पास में ना, हम देखते तो शार्क टैंक देख के अब सबकी एबिलिटी हो गई है, बिजनेस आइडियाज़ की तो कमी नहीं है. सो आइडिया से ऊपर उठ के एक्शन मोड में जाना इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर मी. सो वो प्लंज लेना, वो एक्शन लेना. जब तक आप सिर्फ ड्रीमी वर्ड में रहोगे, अपने कंफर्ट जोन में रहोगे, लाइक यू आस्क मी ऑल्सो, वी से इफ यू वांट एक्स्ट्रा ऑर्डिनरी यू हैव टू पुट एक्स्ट्रा ऑर्डिनरी एफर्ट. सो बी रेडी टू स्लॉक, नथिंग कम्स ईजी, एंड टेक action. The first step is the most important part. If you will do that, I think we will be successful.
And I think it's the best advice.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much sir. अगर आपको भी हमारा ये एपिसोड अच्छा लगा और आई गेस रिलेटेबल भी लगा ही होगा, तो चैनल को शेयर करना और सब्सक्राइब करना बिल्कुल मत भूलिएगा. फिर से मिलेंगे एक और नए एपिसोड के साथ. तब तक के लिए थैंक यू.